Rule 1 of Stoicism. Distinguishing between what is in your control and what is not is essential for understanding and applying this philosophy of life. This teaching invites us to recognize the limits of our influence and focus our attention on what we can control. Our own attitudes, beliefs, values, and actions. To fully comprehend Rule 1, it is important to explore its meaning in detail. What is in our control mainly refers to internal aspects of our lives, such as our attitudes, beliefs, values, and actions. These are areas over which we have direct and significant control. On the other hand, what is not in our control includes external aspects of our lives, such as natural events, the actions of other people, and the passage of time. Although we can influence some of these aspects directly, we do not have complete control over them, and ultimately, they are inevitable and immutable. Once we understand the distinction between what is in our control and what is not, we can apply this principle to a wide range of situations in our daily lives. For example, when facing setbacks at work or in our personal relationships, we can focus on how we can respond constructively and concentrate on our own actions and attitudes. Rule 1 also helps us develop resilience in the face of adversity. By accepting what we cannot change and focusing on what we can control, we can find a deep sense of inner peace and more easily adapt to the changes and challenges we face in life. Acceptance of what we cannot change is fundamental to cultivating inner serenity and finding peace amidst uncertainty. When we recognize that there are things beyond our control, we can stop struggling against them and start accepting them as they are. This acceptance frees us from the stress and anxiety that come from trying to change the unchangeable and allows us to focus our energy on what we can control. Additionally, the ability to adapt to changing circumstances is essential for our survival and well-being. When we recognize that things may not turn out as we expected and are willing to adjust our expectations and plans accordingly, we can navigate the ups and downs of life with greater ease and grace. The application of Rule 1 helps us develop resilience in the face of adversity by changing our perception of the challenges and difficulties we face. Instead of seeing them as insurmountable obstacles, we see them as opportunities to grow, learn, and strengthen ourselves. By accepting that suffering and difficulty are inevitable in human life, we can find meaning even in the midst of affliction and remain steadfast in our pursuit of virtue and wisdom. Another important aspect of Rule 1 is its relationship with self-discipline and self-control. When we recognize that we have control over our own actions and attitudes, we can exercise greater discipline over ourselves, making conscious decisions that align with our values and goals. Instead of giving in to momentary impulses or reacting impulsively to situations, we can choose to act deliberately and thoughtfully. Self-discipline allows us to resist the temptation to seek instant gratification and focus on long-term goals that are consistent with our values and deeper aspirations. By cultivating healthy habits and avoiding self-destructive behaviors, we can improve our quality of life and reach our full potential as human beings. The practice of Rule 1 also invites us to reflect on our own actions and attitudes and to examine how we can constantly improve. By regularly assessing what is within our control and what is not, we can identify areas where we can grow and develop. This self-reflection allows us to adjust our way of thinking and behaving to be more aligned with our Stoic ideals and personal aspirations. In daily life, Rule 1 provides us with valuable guidance for making decisions and facing challenges. It reminds us that we cannot control the opinions of others, the whims of fate, or the mistakes of the past, but we can control how we choose to respond to these situations. It encourages us to focus on what is within our control and to stop worrying about what is beyond our reach. Rule 1 is also relevant in the context of our interpersonal relationships. When we recognize that we cannot control the actions or attitudes of others, we can stop trying to change them and accept them as they are. This allows us to establish healthy boundaries, communicate more effectively, and cultivate more authentic and satisfying relationships. By applying Rule 1 in our interactions with others, we can avoid unnecessary conflicts, promote mutual understanding, and foster empathy and compassion. While Rule 1 may be easy to understand, in theory, applying it in moments of crisis can be much more difficult. When we face traumatic events or extreme situations, it may be tempting to fall into despair or hopelessness. However, even in the darkest moments, Rule 1 can offer a light of hope. By remembering that we still have control over our own response and attitude, we can find the inner strength to face even the most challenging circumstances with courage and serenity. In summary, Rule 1 of Stoicism, which urges us to distinguish between what is in our control and what is not, is a powerful principle that can transform our way of thinking and living. By applying this rule in our lives, we can cultivate inner serenity, develop resilience in the face of adversity, and live with greater wisdom and virtue. However, practicing Rule 1 is not easy and requires dedication and continuous effort. It requires a fundamental shift in how we view the world and our own lives. But the benefits of living according to this principle are invaluable. Greater inner peace, increased adaptability, and a fuller and more meaningful life. Ultimately, Rule 1 of Stoicism reminds us that although we cannot control many things in life, we always have the power to choose how we respond to them. And in that choice lies our true freedom and our ability to live a life of authenticity, integrity, and purpose.